guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is definitely not going to be a book related video, so if that is not your jam, that's fine. I will have more bookish content coming probably in the next day or two. But for those of you who are interested, I just wanted to do kind of like a life update type of video of like what's been going on, things that I'm very excited about, and, you know, basically everything but books. The first thing that I wanted to update you on is just kind of like my life in general. I do these videos like very periodically, and I kind of stopped doing them because I tend to have ideas that I talk about a lot in these videos that never come to fruition, so I feel like I was cursing myself by doing that. But in case you guys missed it, I think it was during Booktubeathon I started kind of letting you guys know that I quit my job that I had for a long time and I hated, and I was in the process of job searching. It was a big transition period for me in my life, and I've never actually done that. I've never been like financially stable enough to quit a job without having another one lined up, which I do not recommend. It was stressful for me, even though me and Randy were technically like financially stable. Like we were kind of prepared for me to do this. It was still very nerve-wracking for me because that's not how I was raised. You always have a job lined up before you actually quit your other job, but I had reached a breaking point and it wasn't healthy to stay there at that point. Basically, what I kind of broke down in that video is I worked in a factory environment that worked obscenely long hours. I started work at 5 a.m. and most days I didn't get home until about 7 p.m. It is very hard to maintain a life in any sense with a job like that. So yes, I was making really, really good money, but I was miserable while I was there. The management was terrible. It was a whole slew of issues at that place. So it was one of those things, I kind of did it for as long as I mentally and physically could do it, but I reached a point, a lot of what I was doing was sewing and stuff, so it started to really affect my wrists and my hands to the point where like I was in physical therapy because I couldn't use my hands. So it was affecting me physically, I was mentally drained from working a job like that, and it was just all around bad. It was affecting our relationship, it was affecting life in general. So back in, I believe it was June, July, I just quit. It was the best decision I've ever made. I have never been so happy, but I basically didn't realize how burnt out I was because I kind of had the mindset, I've always been a really active person. I always have a lot of things going on. So it was frustrating to me to work a job like that where I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do because I legitimately didn't have the time to do them. So I kind of pictured it in my head that when I quit, I would have time to do all these amazing things that I never had the time to do, but I just didn't. Like I had a solid 3 weeks where I did nothing. Like yeah, I still filmed videos and whatnot, but I literally just did nothing. And it was strange for me and it was hard for me to accept that because I've never been that burnt out before, but I literally like couldn't focus on anything. I was tired all the time. And it was affecting my health because I was always a very in shape and active person, and I didn't have the energy to exercise, which I know is a cyclical thing. Like once you start exercising, you get more energy, but I didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the energy to do it. It took a solid like 3 weeks to a month to feel like myself again. And that was a weird period of time. I read a lot, but it was a strange period of time. But that was a very long, convoluted story that I wasn't planning on getting into. But the happy ending to the story is I ended up finding an amazing job for me. I took a serious pay cut. Like, I'm making less than half of what I made at my last job, but oh my god, I'm so happy. So I am now a full-time main caretaker at a local animal rescue, which if you guys know me, is a perfect job for me. I don't work with people, and as much as I enjoy being around people, I'm very good with people. I'm a very friendly person. I think this last job kind of killed it for me because everyone that I worked with was miserable. So my job is to literally go to this place and take care of cats and dogs. That's my whole job. And it's a lot of it, it's definitely not everybody's ideal type of job because it's a lot of poop, it's a lot of cleaning and almost janitorial type things, but it's also equal parts veterinary care and cuddling with kittens and puppies, which is amazing. Like, I pretty much get to go and follow around the vet tech every day and help give medications and fluids, which is a field that I would love to be in. I've always kind of been interested in the veterinary field. I was a barn manager at a thoroughbred rehab facility for a long time, which gave me access to a lot of large animal medicine. As in, the vets were very tolerant of letting me watch everything that they were doing and asking endless questions. So it's definitely a field that I belong in. So this is just kind of giving me the opportunity to get my foot back in the door with an animal career. So I have that going for me. It's going amazing. It's been a very long time since I've been happy with my job and proud of my job to tell people what I do. I work at an animal shelter. I help animals get homes. I help give animals who are sick, I give them a sanctuary to be happy in. It's amazing. So I am doing that, and now that I kind of have established hours there and I have established myself as an employee there, I also am going 1 day a week to a local wildlife rehab facility. As in, it's a place where if you find like a baby bird that fell out of the nest, or if like you find a whole litter of baby squirrels that were abandoned, like their mother might have gotten hit by a car or something, or if you like found a turtle in the road, this is the facility that you take these animals to be nursed back to health and then released back into the wild. Can we talk about a more perfect job for me? Well, I'm starting to volunteer there, which is one of the coolest things. It's something that I never thought I would be able to do without having a degree in some sort of animal science, but this is a strictly volunteer facility, so they just kind of need as many hands as they can get. But that is like a dream career for me, so this is basically quitting that job has allowed me to have time to film, time to read again, time to talk to you guys again and actually focus on this as kind of a business path for me, which is steadily kind of heading down that road, which would be amazing to be able to do this and work with animals. Like, my life is split between books and animals. Those are my two passions in life, and I'm getting to do both, and it's amazing. Okay, this video is already way longer than I want it to be, so that's just a life update on what I am currently doing. So, okay, that's enough life update on just like things that are personal to me. So I want to talk about some things that I'm excited about, just to like see input or maybe inform you guys of things that you haven't heard yet. But these are just some rumors that have gotten dropped recently of things that are coming that I'm so excited about, but also kind of terrified of. So you may have seen recently that Netflix announced that they are making a live action remake of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is something that terrifies me, but excites me. So, okay, Avatar is one of my favorite shows. Okay, one, Buffy is my favorite show of all time. Let's just get that across. Everything else is not really ordered. Avatar is up there though. I've watched Avatar, can't even tell you how many times. Legend of Korra, same thing. So, I have been waiting anxiously for something else to happen in this world because it has such a diehard following, and I knew something else was coming. We were hoping that we were going to get like the third Avatar generation, and they talked about it being split into twins, which was going to be a whole thing, but I don't think that's actually going to come to fruition at this point. So the actual makers of the original Avatar show are teaming up with Netflix to produce a live action show. So I feel like the M. Night Shyamalan movie was possibly the biggest disaster of an adaptation that has ever happened. So we can only go up from there, is kind of my mindset with that. Like, it can only be better than that. And Netflix has kind of come out with some really solid things recently. So I have high hopes. I'm scared it's still like very far out. Like, we're talking years out in production, but the fact that that's even a possibility is exciting because that means it's gonna bring it back to pop culture. Like, we're going to have kids who can grow up with Avatar again, which is amazing. Like, I mean, the cartoon still definitely holds up to the test of time, but this is going to like open the door for a whole new generation of Avatar kids. It's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited, I'm anxious, I'm nervous about that, but I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, other remakes that I've heard about recently. So, obviously we've all seen the trailer for the new Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. That's something that I'm excited about, because I grew up watching Sabrina, but it's not something that I would get really offended over if they messed it up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't high quality TV that I feel protective of. It's a show that I enjoyed watching. It's a like familiar name, but the fact that they're turning it into a complete horror is kind of cool to me. Mainly because I don't feel the connection to it, so it's not going to bother me if they completely change the whole concept of the show. I like that they're doing it. Like, it looks really good, and I'm kind of a baby with horror stuff now, but I will definitely be watching that, so I'm very excited for that. And another thing that is going to follow that is, I don't know if you guys saw it recently, but they announced that they are going to be turning the, okay, do you guys remember in your like elementary school libraries or in like the Scholastic book fairs, the Scary Stories to Tell After Dark books? They were like, I don't even know if I still have my copies of them. They're probably in the attic somewhere, but they were like collections of short horror stories that were not meant for children. Like, they were marketed to children and they had pictures in them, but if you remember, the pictures were the most terrifying things I've ever seen. Like, even as a 28-year-old adult, looking through those books still gives me goosebumps. Like, they are still very disturbing images and stories. Like, they are just not kids' stories, so I don't know why they were marketed towards kids. But what I'm excited about with those, they are going to be turned into a movie or series. Again, I probably should have researched this prior to filming this video, but I think it's a movie by Guillermo del Toro, which is the perfect director for really dark and disturbing horror. Oh my god, I'm so excited, because if there is anybody who is going to take those stories and like keep them as authentically terrifying as they were, it's going to be Del Toro, and I am so stupidly excited for it. It's gonna be so cool. So I guess those are things that I'm excited about. I'm still waiting. I talked about this in the last like life update video I did. I'm still waiting for the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee games to come out. Those are coming in November, and I'm still waiting for the Spyro remake. That got bumped until November, and I'm very distraught over it because they are coming out like 3 days apart from each other, so I'm gonna need to like binge through Spyro before I get to Pokemon. But those are still things that I'm also excited about. Moving into things that are happening currently that I just kind of want to share my love of. One, the new Eminem album is really good. Like, I know he got a lot of hate for his previous album that got dropped like last year, which it wasn't great, I'm gonna be honest. I listened all the way through it, it was okay. For those of you who don't listen to rap music, this is probably not relevant, but I enjoy Eminem. I grew up listening to Eminem. His new album, Kamikaze, is pretty good. There's some good songs on there. Like, the single that's out, Lucky You, is like, that's a bop, man. I feel that song. I like that one, and I like Fall. If you haven't listened to those two songs, I recommend checking those two out. Those are the two that I think are like standouts on the album. Definitely feeling that vibes. I'm liking where he's going. And bringing it back to another thing that I talked about in my last update video is the Shane Dawson YouTube channel series that's going on and taking over the internet. I talked about this like months ago when he was just starting to like really develop the style of videos, but if you are on YouTube at all, you've probably heard of Shane Dawson. He's one of the biggest YouTubers out there. I have personally been watching him since I was probably around 16, 17, which means he probably was around 16, 17. We're about the same age. He's been putting content out for like over a decade at this point, and I have watched him through the years. He used to do really crude sketch comedy, then he got into a more like life, personal, not vlog style, but just kind of like weird eating type videos. And since he has like hired a cameraman and gotten really into production this past year, his series that he puts out are just like the highest quality production thing on YouTube, and they are fascinating. Like, as I'm filming this, we are in the middle of the Jake Paul series, The Mind of Jake Paul, which I don't even like Jake Paul. I don't even know anything about Team 10 or anything like that, and I'm fascinated with it. Like, the way that he builds anticipation for his videos is so good. Like, they get millions of views within a couple hours of him uploading. I can't even fathom that, but it is so good, and it's just him and his cameraman Andrew who do all of the like producing, directing, editing, filming. They do it all by themselves, and they are putting out like TV quality series. So if you haven't checked out Shane Dawson, I highly recommend it because his series are just so well developed. You're so intrigued and invested in these series, whether they're people you care about or not. He is going places. So as I'm looking at this, this is currently already 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna hopefully try and cut some stuff down. If not, you guys, you've been watching me for a long time if I wasn't able to edit this down, so I'm gonna stop talking now. So that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys like an update of what's been going on with me and things that I am excited about, and I want to share with you guys and talk with you guys in the comments. So if you guys have any thoughts about any of the things that I talked about, let me know down in the comments, because I am mainly just like very intrigued by a lot of the things that are happening and coming up. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next one.